Hello everyone, welcome to Homeovision. Myself Dr. Naveen. Today in this video we will discuss some of the minor repertories, important points which are helpful for AIAPGET and other competitive exams. As you know, the father of repertory is Dr. Bonninghausen. There are three major important homeopathic repertories: Kent repertories, Bonninghausen therapeutic pocketbook, and Boger Bonninghausen characteristics and repertory. These are the three major important repertories. Today we will not discuss these repertories, we will discuss only the minor repertories. Before the start of the studying minor repertories, we will see what are the important points to be remembered in these repertories. Most of the questions are asked in these points: the published by, year of publication of that repertory, different editions of that repertory, typography used, number of remedies used, and number of chapters and rubrics. Let's discuss one by one these minor repertories. The first repertory is a systematic alphabetic repertory of homeopathic remedies, repertory of antisoric remedies. This is the first book written by Dr. Bonninghausen. It is published in 1832. It includes the antisoric remedies only. Later, they added Merxol and Thuja, which are not antisoric remedies. This clearly indicates that these remedies are added for the practical purpose. The special feature of this repertory is our master Hahnemann used this repertory. It has 49 chapters and it contains 52 remedies. Typography. The old typography, Roman bracket, Roman, Roman space, italic and italic spaced. The new typography is bold capital which carrying 5 mark, bold Roman which carrying 4 mark, italics carrying 3 mark, Roman carrying 2 mark, and Roman in parenthesis carrying 1 mark. The content of this repertory, it has a preface written by Dr. C.M. Boger, preface by Bonninghausen to first edition and second edition, and it has an introduction given by Master Hahnemann, intercurrent remedies in chronic disease, and review of antisoric remedies, then repertory of antisoric remedies, repertory part. So, this is the first repertory written by Bonninghausen. Next repertory is Jar's repertory. It is published by Dr. Jar. It has two editions. First edition published in 1834, second edition published in 1847. The number of chapters are 29. The number of remedies used are 226. It has 4 typography. Next repertory is Lippe's repertory. It is published by Dr. Constantine Lippe. He is one of the disciple of Hering. Lippe's repertory published in 1880. The number of chapters are 28. Number of remedies used are 602. The main principle of this Lippe's repertory is general to particular. The typography in Lippe's repertory is 2, italics and Roman, and it is based on the repertory to manual published in Allentown by Dr. Hering in 1838. Repertory to the manual, it is the first repertory published in English language. This is the important point, they can be asked in AIAPGET exam. Next repertory is Ner's repertory. The full name of this Ner repertory is Repertory of Hering's Guiding Symptoms of Our Meta Medica. It is published by Dr. Ner. It is published in 1896. Number of chapters are 48 and number of remedies are 408. It is easy to remember, chapters 48 and number of remedies 408. There are 4 marks of distinction in Ner's repertory: double thick black vertical lines, single vertical thick black line, 2 ordinary vertical lines, and 1 ordinary vertical line. And it has some important signs. Theta sign, it indicates physiological general state or pathological terms of the remedies. 3 perpendicular dots, which indicates marks observation taken from the old school. T, sign T, it means the remedies, the symptoms are extracted from toxicological source. Pi sign, it indicates symptoms observed in sick only. Hand sign, it indicates cross reference to related symptoms. These points can be asked in match the following or assertion reasoning type of questions. So, this is the NER repertory. It is published in 1896. Number of chapters are 48 and number of remedies are 408. Next is Gentry's Concordance Repertory. It is published by Dr. William D. Gentry and it is published in 6 volume, published in 1890. Symptoms arranged in alphabetical order. The number of chapters are 30 and the number of remedies are 420. Next, coming to Synthetic Repertory. It is published in 1982. It is published by Dr. Berthel and Klunker. Originally, it is published by Carl G. Verlag and Co. of Heidelberg in 1973, which was improved in 1982 by Dr. Berthel and Klunker. So, the main publisher of this repertory is Dr. Berthel and Dr. Klunker. In India, it is published in 1987 by B. Jain Publishers. It is limited to only general symptoms. So, it has 3 volumes. First volume, it contains mental generals. The first volume contains total 604 rubrics plus 33 cross references. Second volume, it is limited to physiological generals, that too except sex and sleep and dreams. It contains 358 rubrics plus 23 cross references. Third volume, it limited to sleep, dreams and sex. Sleep contain 44 rubrics, dreams contain 400 rubrics, male sex it contain 16 rubrics and female it contain 26 rubrics. There are 4 typography used in this synthetic repertory. Those are capital underlined, capital, bold and ordinary. It has a special feature that it is present in 3 languages. First, it is in English language, then French language and then German language. This sequence can also be asked in AIAPGET exam. It contains total 1594 remedies. Next is Complete Repertory. Complete Repertory, it is published in 1996. It is published by Dr. Roger van Genderwood of Netherlands and Kunjil's group by Institute of Research, Homeopathic Information and Symptomatology, Netherlands. It contains total 41 chapters and 4 grades, 4 typography used: capital bold, capital, bold italics, ordinary. The number of remedies are 2171. So, the complete repertory published in 1996. It contains 41 chapters. The next repertory is Homeopathic Medical Repertory, published by Dr. Robin Murphy. It has a special feature. It has arranged in alphabetical order. So, the first edition published in 1993, second edition published in 1996 at Colorado, USA, third edition published in 2009 at Blacksburg, USA. These are the American editions. The Indian editions are: first edition published in 1994 by Indian Books and Periodical Syndicate, New Delhi, second edition published in 2002, third edition published in 2010 by B. Jain Publishers. The question can be asked who published and at what year they have published. This homeopathic medical repertory compiled from 55 standard books. So there are 4 typography used in this repertory: capital bold, italics and Roman. There is a unique plan of arrangement, that is from abdomen to wrist, that is alphabetical order. First edition, it contained total 67 chapters. Second edition, it contained 70 chapters. Third edition, it contained 74 chapters. More than 1602 drugs used in this repertory. So this is the homeopathic medical repertory published by Dr. Robin Murphy. There are 3 editions, different American and Indian editions. 4 typography and total 1602 drugs used in this repertory. Next is Phoenix repertory. It is published by Dr. J.P.S. Bakshi in 1999 by Cosmic Healer Private Limited, New Delhi. It has 2 volumes. First volume, it is arranged from mind to abdomen. Second volume, it is arranged from rectum to generalities. So there are total 38 chapters present in this repertory. 4 typography used: capital bold, capital, italics and Roman. The number of remedies used are 1600. So this is the Phoenix repertory published by Dr. J.P.S. Bakshi. Number of chapters 38 and 4 typography used. Number of remedies are 1600. Next is thematic repertory. It is published by Dr. J. A. Mirilli. It is published in 1995. In this repertory, total 300 themes are described and 12,500 symptoms from different materia medica are added in this thematic repertory. This is the important repertory. They can be asked in AIAPGET or other competitive exams. Next is synthesis repertory. The full name of this repertory is Repertorium Homeopathicum Syntheticum. It is published by Dr. Frederick Schreans. It is a printed version of Radar, that is a computer repertory. So in synthesis, there are different versions that is published at different year. So the first version published in 1987, version 2 published in 1988, version 3 1990, version 4 1992, version 5 1993. This is the first available in the book form. So previous one are all computer form. Version 6, it is published in 1995. Version 7, it is published in 1997. Version 8.1, it is published in 2001. Version 9.0 or 9.1, it is published in 2004. There are some points like down arrow, that sign following the remedy, it indicates remedies copied from similar subrubrics. Black dot, it indicates remedy from more recent or less known author. So these points can be asked in AIAPGET. So this is the synthesis repertory. It is published by Dr. Frederick Schreans. It is a printed version of Radar. There is one more repertory, Essential Synthesis. It is also published by Frederick Schreans in 2007 in London. It is inspired by a slogan, returning to Hahnemann. Next is Homeopathy and Child Care. This repertory published by Dr. Shashikant Tiwari. It has 4 parts. First part, it contains principles and it also contains graphical constitutions of different type of child. Second part contains therapeutics. It also contains miasms running in a family. Third part contains children type. So there are total 21 type of children are explained from abrotanum to tuberculinum. Next is fourth part, it contains repertory section. Repertory section, it has 2 parts, remedy and their abbreviation in first part and repertory proper in second part. 3 gradings or 3 typography used, capital, bold and Roman. The number of remedies used in this repertory is 365. So this is the Homeopathy and Child Care repertory by Dr. Shashikant Tiwari. The number of remedies used are 365. The next repertory is Concise Repertory of Homeopathic Medicine, which is published by Dr. S.R. Phatak. So there are 3 editions of this repertory. First edition published in 1963, second edition published in 1977, third edition published in 2000 by Dr. D.S. Phatak, that is after the death of Dr. S.R. Phatak. In third editions, there are some additional points which are marked by plus sign. The number of rubrics used in this repertory is 1971 rubrics are used. The number of remedies are 393 remedies. So this is the very important repertory which is helpful in our day-to-day practice. Many homeopathic practitioners are use this repertory. So the next repertory is Kent's Repertorium Generale. It is published by Dr. J. Kunjli. It is published in 1987 in German language and in 1990 in English language by Berthel and Berthel Publishing, Germany. This work is compiled and edited by Dr. Michael Berthel. So the main author of this repertory is Dr. J. Kunjli, but the work is compiled and edited by Dr. Michael Berthel. It has information from 72 sources. It is published in 2 languages, first in German language at 1987 and then in English language in 1990. So there are some points, like red points, it indicates Kunjli's own therapeutic experience. Black points behind the drug, it indicates therapeutic efficacy that is frequently proved. So 2 points are added in this repertory, red points and black points. It contains total 689 medicines and it also contains 27 sections. Kunjli is a pupil of Dr. Pierre Smith. Next is Repertory of Miasm. It is published by Dr. R.P. Patel, published in 1996. This work on miasmatic classification of rubrics is basically from the Kent repertory. So the main source of this repertory is Kent repertory. The Repertory of Miasm, it is published by Dr. R.P. Patel, published in 1996. Next is Repertorium Universale. It is published by Dr. Roger von Janderwood. It is the effort to include rubrics from Bonninghausen work into Kentian structured repertory. So this is the compilation of Bonninghausen repertory and Kent repertory. It is published in 2003 by Dr. Roger von Janderwood. Next is Clinical Repertory. It is published by Dr. J. H. Clark in 1904. It is based on the Dictionary of Metramedica by the same author J. H. Clark. The repertory, it is presented in 5 main chapters. These chapters are: first, Clinical Repertory; second, Repertory of Causation; third, Repertory of Temperament, Disposition, Constitution and States; fourth, Repertory of Clinical Relationship; fifth, Repertory of Natural Relationship. So this a clinical repertory, it contains 5 main chapters. The symptoms in this repertory are arranged alphabetically. The number of remedies are 1011, 1011. There are 52 medicine, they have appeared twice. So the total number of remedies are 1063 remedies. There are some abbreviations which are used from CIFAR repertory. This point can also be asked in AIAPGET. The letter X, it indicates acids. 2 typography used, italics and Roman, but these are not grades. Italic means the remedies appeared in prescriber, the prescriber which is also written by Dr. Clark. So these are the some additional points. Symptoms arranged alphabetically. The number of remedies are 1011. The abbreviation, they are used from CIFAR repertory. The letter X, it indicates acid, and 2 typography present in this repertory. Next is the prescriber. It is also written by Dr. J.H. Clark. It contains total 428 medicine. There are two main sections in the prescriber. In first section, there is an introduction to prescriber. In second, the prescriber. So the first section, it is again divided into 4 parts. Part 1, it deals with how to practice homeopathy. Part 2 deal with case taking. Part 3, there is a plan of prescriber and how to use it. Part 4, it contains list of the remedies, abbreviations and signs. So the first section is again divided into 4 parts. Next, in second section, there is a treatment of disease arranged alphabetically. So these are the clinical repertories by Dr. J.H. Clark. First one is a clinical repertory. Next one is the prescriber. Next is clinical repertory by Borick. It is published by Oscar E. Borick in 1927. It has been attached to Homeopathic Metramedica by William Borick. William Borick is different and Oscar E. Borick is different. William Borick, he has written a Metramedica book. Oscar E. Borick, he has written the repertory part. So there are 1409 remedies used in this repertory. 5 remedies, they have appeared twice. So the total number of remedies are 1414. 2 typography used in this repertory, italics and ordinary. The number of chapters are 24. The next repertory is Homeopathic Therapeutics of Diarrhea. It is written by Dr. James B. Bell. It is popularized as Bell's Diarrhea. So there are 4 editions of this Bell's Diarrhea. First edition, it is published in 1869. It is printed by Mr. Tuffel. Second edition, it is published in 1881. It is edited by W. T. Layard. Third edition, it is published in 1888. Fourth edition published in 1896. The year of publication can be asked in AIAPGET in the form of match the following or right or wrong question. This Bell's Diarrhea, it is divided into 2 parts. First part, it contains remedy and their indication. Second part, it contains repertory part. So 4 typography used in this repertory: bold, italics, Roman and Roman in bracket. The number of remedies used in this repertory are 141. So this is the Bell's Diarrhea. Next is complete repertory to the Homeopathic Metramedica on diseases of eyes. It is published by Berridge. So it is popularly known as Berridge Eye Repertory. It is published in 1873 in London and it is based on Herring's Metramedica. So there are total 5 typography used in this repertory: italics capital, plain capital, italics, Roman and Roman in bracket. It is also divided into 2 sections. First section, it contains symptoms. Second section, it contains conditions of the eye. The number of remedies used in this repertory is 1171. So this is Berridge Eye Repertory, published in 1873, 5 typography and it contains 2 sections. Next is Uterine Therapeutics. It is published by Dr. Henry Minton. It is published in 1883. Henry Minton is also authored the book Diseases of Women and Children. This Uterine Therapeutics, it is arrangement of this book is based on the Bell's Diarrhea. So it also contains 2 parts. First part contains remedy and their indication. Second part, it contains repertory. Repertory part, it arranged as menstruation, amenorrhea, abortion, lochia, leukorrhea, general concomitants. So it is arranged as menstruation to general concomitants. Index is given at the end. The total number of remedies used in this repertory is 178 and 2 typography used, italics and ordinary Roman. So, this is Uterine Therapeutics by Henry Minton. Next is The Therapeutics of Fever. It is published by Dr. H.C. Allen. First edition, it is published in 1879. Second edition published in 1884. The book is divided into 3 sections. First section, it deals with principles. Second section deals with indications of the remedy. Third section, it indicates with repertory part. So, there are total 147 medicines are discussed in second section, that is indications of the remedy. 3 typography used: bold, italics and Roman. So, this is the Therapeutics of Fever written by Dr. H.C. Allen. 2 edition, first edition 1879, second edition 1884. The total number of medicines are 147 and the typography is 3: bold, italics and Roman. Next is Repertory of Symptoms of Intermittent Fever, which is written by William A. Allen. This is Therapeutics of Fever written by H.C. Allen. This is Repertory of Symptoms of Intermittent Fever, which is written by Dr. W. A. Allen. It is published in 1882 at Flushing, New York. It deals with total 133 remedies. There are 4 sections present in this repertory: chill, heat, sweat and apyrexia. These are the 4 sections. 3 typography used: bold, italics and Roman. This is the Repertory of Symptoms of Intermittent Fever written by Dr. W. A. Allen. Next is the Repertory Skin Disease. It is written by Dr. M. F. Douglas in 1899. There is another repertory, the Repertory of Warts and Condylomata, which is published by Dr. Olin M. Drake. Next is Rheumatic Remedies. This repertory published by Dr. H. A. Robert. It is published in 1939 at Derby, Connecticut. So, there are 2 parts present in this repertory. First part, it contains the rheumatic remedies. Second part, it contains repertory part. Total number of remedies used in this repertory is 215. 4 typography used: capital, small capital, italics and Roman. So, the rheumatic remedies, this repertory published by Dr. H. A. Robert in 1939. The number of remedies used are 215. 4 typography used: capital, small capital, italics and Roman. The next repertory is Homeopathy, Therapeutic of Respiratory System. This is written by Dr. M. W. van Denburg. The information is from the Herring's Guiding Symptom. The main source of this repertory is from the Herring Guiding Symptoms. It contains 3 parts: general index to repertory, shorter index, next repertory part. So, it contains 3 parts and it deals with total 247 remedies. So, these are the some minor repertories. We will discuss some of the points regarding card repertories too. So, there are important card repertories published in 1888 by Guernsey, Bonning Slips. The number of cards are total 2500 cards used in this Guernsey Bonning slip. Next, in 1922, Field prepared 6,800 cards based on Kent's work. The number of drugs used are 360. In 1948, Dr. Marcos Geminus, he published 600 cards. He was the first person to introduce evaluation of drugs on card. So, this question can be asked: who introduced the evaluation of drugs on cards? The answer is Dr. Marcos Geminus. That is in 1948. Next is Kishore Card Repertory, published by Dr. Jugal Kishore. The first edition, it is published in 1959 and it contains total 3500 cards. Second edition 1967, total 10,000 cards plus 600 remedies are used. Next, third edition, it is published in 1986. This is Kishore's card repertory by Dr. Jugal Kishore. Next is Sharma's card repertory. It is based on the Kent's final general repertory and it contains total 3000 cards and 400 remedies are used. Next is Card Index Repertory by Boger in 1924. In this repertory, the rubrics are arranged alphabetically. First card is a king and the last card is yellow. The total number of cards are 305. Dr. L.D. Davle, he puts as 319 cards are there. 4 types of letters are used that indicates the grade, that means 4 typography. The number of medicines are 250. So, this is Boger's card index repertory. So, these are the different repertories and their important points. The main source of these points are taken from Shashikant Tiwari's Essentials of Repertorization book. The maximum 2 to 5 questions can be asked from these repertories in competitive exams like AIAPGET. So, save this video and revise again and again. Like and subscribe for future reference and follow us on Instagram at HomeoVision. Thank you.